Rematch gegen Steve Bain, der vergangenes Wochenende noch im Finale stand. Also ein großer Erfolg, der ihm Mut gemacht hat, der ihm Selbstvertrauen gegeben hat für diese Partie hier und jetzt. Herzlich willkommen, The Fro, Jamie Bain. Jamie Bain tritt an gegen den jüngsten Weltmeister aller Zeiten. 2006 gewann er die BDO-WM im Alter von 21 Jahren und 90 Tagen. Damals ein großes Finale gegen Landsmann Raymond van Barneveld. Längst ist er bei der PDC. Er hat 2000
here in round 2 of the Happy Bet German Darts Grand Prix in Mannheim features the man who was the bane of Beaton yesterday. Scotland's Jamie Bain seeing off last week's defeated Dutch Darts Masters finalist. In round 1, that earned him the right to take on number 9 seed Jelle Klaasen of the Netherlands, a man who's fighting his way back after an injury and operation to rectify it. And he was beaten last weekend by Christoph Ratajski, who we've just seen knocked out by Gerwyn Price. So everybody's beating everybody. Can Bain knock out a third seed of the day? Will Klaasen go the same way as Chisnell and King before? I'm Chris Murphy, and joining us, Paul Nicholson.
There are a lot of people who do fancy Jamie Bain in this game. Been chatting to a few people over the last few weeks, and they're saying that Jamie's in good form.
97.
And he'll be buoyed by that performance with Steve Beaton last night. I think he got under Steve's skin a little bit with some great darts at the end of that match. But with Jelle Klaasen, I think we see a long road back to where he was about this time last year, where he was constantly making finals.
139.
And in my opinion, playing some of the best darts of his career. Obviously, the injury has hampered his momentum and progress.
96.
Especially on the European Tour. It was where he played his best stuff last year, and he was bitterly disappointed not to win one. Had the chance, didn't he, against Alan Norris in the final one in Hildesheim.
I think that was his, really. Alan Norris just totally spoiled that party for Klaasen.
100.
And Klaasen was bitterly gutted when he lost that final.
Well, 150 the target for Jamie Bain to hang on to his thrower, because Klaasen is not hanging about at the start of this match. May stay there for double 15.
135.
Wasn't far away.
Very good effort from Jamie. Now Klaasen will look at 16 for tops.
36.
Not far away either. Now this 15 is awkward. That's the hard bit. Double 4.
11.
And when Jamie Bain does that at the start of a match, Jelle Klaasen has got to take his chances at double 7. Well, unconventional and a little bit of a snigger, and why not? But if Jamie gets his chin down, you've got to take him right away. Can't let him get back into the match. I've played Jamie myself, and I've noticed that if he shakes his head, you've got to get in there right there, otherwise he'll come back at you really fast.
Well, hats off to Jelle Klaasen there for that
44.
double 7, because for both of these players who play at such a rapid rhythm, to just adjust that quickly, he's expecting, well, if I miss this, I'm going up for double 5.
I was talking to Jelle last night, because we have a practice board near our commentary position, which is very handy for me, I might add. But Jelle wanted to use that board a little bit last night. He was on there for about an hour. And I was talking to him about his wrist, and he said that he still sleeps at night with a brace on his wrist to make sure that during the night nothing peculiar happens, that it's secure. And I think he's doing a lot of things right now
96.
away from the board, which are geared towards very good recovery and safety as well.
Yeah, short-term suffering,
44.
but with a plan for long-term success. And I'm sure, Paul, that the asset will be an advocate of that approach.
34.
I think so. And Jelle posting on Instagram this week about his new physical fitness regime. I think he's definitely looking to the future. He wants to play darts, I think, for another 20 years. And in order to do that these days, with this schedule, you've got to do these things. Tops now, 10s, Vital double, and he knows it. 2-0 lead against Jamie Bain.
Yeah, futile maximum from Jamie Bain. I love the style of it. 2 in the treble, look around, and then chuck the third one in as well. He was just checking his score. But Klaasen has a 2-leg advantage, and he's looking pretty solid so far.
Solid indeed. And I mentioned he was practicing next to us last night. Well, he was practicing with some white flights with his logo on. Another 180 from Jamie. But he was also practicing with a new set of darts. But today he's using the old set. Maybe that's what he's used to in pressure situations, and he can just rely on them a little bit more than the other ones right now.
Yeah, the trusty tungsten of Jelle Klaasen.
70.
Bain well poised to halve the deficit.
119. Jamie with 170.
Treble 19. That leaves double 12. Good leg from Jamie. It's always, I hate to use the word solid because it's overused, but very good darts when you're leaving a double after 12.
24.
Got there in the end. Would have had more time if he needed to.
That had to go in, didn't it?
Yeah,
it was almost easier to hit it than miss it.
It sort of planted a double-barreled marker.
I was talking to Jamie over the last few days, and he almost feels kind of strange being here without Hendo. But
99.
yeah, Jamie, he's really, really happy with his new shirts. He's being looked after by MDA Promotions at the moment, Matt Ward.
Is it a homage to the Granite City, the shirt?
I'm not sure. It's something to do with the villain Bain from Batman. But he's not a villain at all. He's just a good dart player. I said if you can have a nickname like Bain, you've got to have the mask, you've got to have the coat, you've got to shave your hair, you've got to do the full works. And he said, absolutely not.
Well, I thought he'd run off stage and join me in the commentary box for a second there, Paul. But Klaasen was looking comfortable just a few moments ago. Not so much now.
64. Jamie with 199.
42. Double 16.
67. Lee with 1.
That's why Jamie Bain is pretty hard to keep up with. He is very, very quick.
Just notice a lot of Jelle's darts have been landing low.
Jamie with 32.
Double 16 is good for Jamie Bain. He's back in the match.
For our technical expert, Paul, what causes that?
The only reason I can see why Jelle's darts might dip at the end is just he doesn't have as much power in his wrist as he had before. It's something that he's, after having a break from darts, it's something he's getting used to doing again. Now, he's got about as much snap in his wrist and power in his wrist that he needs for his darts as anybody on the planet. If you look at it from a side view or in slow motion, you can see just the amount of snap in that wrist at the end of the throw. It's violent.
Yeah, well, Bain averaging almost 20 points. He's averaging 20 points. Higher than Jelle Klaasen now. And it's been a real role reversal in the last couple of legs.
Well, didn't you say last night with the game between Schindler and Mick McGowan, at one stage in that match there was a gap in the averages of 75?
Yes, it was. Martin Schindler, when he was on a 9-darter in leg 2, was averaging 135 to Mick 60.
Early stages of that match, admittedly, but it was quite amusing. Double 18 for Jamie Bain. He's turned this game on its head. He was 2-0 down. Now he's 3-2 up.
Yeah, Mick McGowan won that one.
58.
But Jelle Klaasen, he is on the comeback trail. We highlighted that at the start of the match. He's got to get used to throwing again, following the operation that he had, and I guess he'll be, in a way, not concentrating so much on results for a while
134.
and just taking each game as practice.
Yeah, his work ethic is, I hate to use the word legendary,
99.
but it really is. He will do anything for his game. The amount of hours of practice, he will travel to practice. He will take breaks from the game if he feels it's the right thing to do.
139.
He lives and breathes his game. Scary to think he's been around well over a decade already.
134.
He could have the best years of his life ahead of him. But right now, all he's concerned about is getting on level terms with Jamie Bain.
87.
Well, the 170 has been left 4 times out of 6 legs by one player or the other so far. Surely it's going to go in this match. Leave it often enough. Players of this quality will clean it up. But Klaasen has levelled it up.
140.
He was having a bit of a laugh last night, Klaasen, with me about his hair. And I asked him the question, is your hair getting higher? And he said, no, it's actually shorter, because his little girl, Verena, had started to pull his hair. It was that long, and he swept it over the top that she was pulling the back of it. So he decided to cut it, and it's a slightly different style.
81.
Yeah, well, he's certainly gone to a different barber than Keegan Brown did. But we will relay that story again tonight. Keegan taking on Daryl Gurney. Some cracking matches to come this evening. We'll run you through them after this leg, but it's hotting up.
140. 132.
Good pace, this match, isn't it? Fast. Can't take your eyes off it.
40.
Well, I think Jamie just took his eye off the ball a little bit there. Definitely wanted a bigger hole in it. And will Klaasen punish him? He will. Now he might have to use the bull.
I was saying to Dan in the last match, we've seen a lot of players recently taking the gamble and not going for the bullseye on these shots.
60.
The point of going for the bullseye is hit the 25, you guarantee yourself a dart, but if you don't hit it, get yourself into a little bit of trouble, and the pendulum swings once more.
A flag yellow to throw first. Game on.
A big deep breath from Klaasen, as if to say, right, start again. And that
42.
is one of the most important things you can do before a leg. Just take a deep breath. You don't want to be starting to throw with tension. The best way to release tension is a good deep breath.
So to recap, through to the last 16 tomorrow, seeded players Ian White, Joe Cullen, Benito van der Pas, Rob Cross and Gerwyn Price. Dave Chisholm and Mervyn King eliminated by Nathan Aspinall and Vincent van der Voort respectively.
74.
And number 19, Jelle Klaasen, has managed to get his nose in front, despite, statistically,
57.
being the poorer player for the majority of the match.
He's having a wadey game. He's doing the right things at the right time. He's
41.
been brilliant on tops the last couple of legs. But when you're fighting something and you're getting yourself back into form, these are the games that, if you can pinch these, it'll just bring that confidence up a little bit more.
92.
Yeah, would serve as a bonus. The winner would take on Kim Hybrex or Kyle Anderson in what I've earmarked as a game of the evening session.
65.
I don't think many people would disagree with you, Chris.
Would
The way
you?
Kyle is playing, I think that game
89.
is a coin flip. If not, slightly favouring Kyle.
Said exactly the same to Dan earlier on. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. The likes of Van Gerwen, Wright, Smith,
120.
Daryl Gurney all in action tonight as well. But right now, Jamie Bain. Well, he's hit 9, so that leaves
93. That leaves 36. That's out.
What
What a save
Wow.
from Jamie Bain.
It
That
is.
was like Jim Leighton for Scotland back in 1986.
superb stuff. And he let Jelle Klaasen know there, didn't he? How big that was. Because look at the difference. Jelle coming back for tops
100.
for a 5-3 lead. Now it's 4-all with Bain throwing first.
Totally different match. Just goes to show that if you get
59.
your sums right first, and you think, right, okay, this is not the end of the world. On that combination, he had to hit a single at some point. It just happened to be a very small treble.
It was actually
140.
a very lucky miss in the end, because had he hit the single three, he wouldn't have been on a finish.
Fantastically put.
57.
3 leaves 99, and I don't care how good you are, you can't do that in 2 darts. Well, 2 darts with a double on the end anyway.
Well, Jelle Klaasen may find himself behind again in a match which keeps swinging one way then the other. That's the first maximum for Jelle Klaasen. Will it fluster Bain? Will it bother him? Again, he needs to save himself.
33.
How many times in this match have we been on 2 darters for both guys and we've got no idea who's going to win the leg? Double 10. Klaasen's back in front. We have no idea who's winning these legs. That's what's making this so exciting.
Oh, what's going on?
Game on.
Every time it looks like one player is on the brink of victory, the other one snatches a leg. Now Jelle Klaasen is making his charge towards the finish line.
You know what it's like? Did you play Mortal Kombat as a kid? Where you've both got very little power and you're just waiting for one more punch just to get them off their life force. That's it.
Well, let's see if Jelle can do just that.
60.
Only 60. And Bain is bound to fire in a big score now.
135.
Perfectly poised, Paul.
I love games like this. You don't need 110 averages for great games of darts. You just need 2 guys really going at it, staying close the whole time. Few ebbs and flows.
68.
Just want to sit back and think, who is going to get the first shot for the match? Jelle Klaasen should really have the first shot at a double. However, Jamie Bain's doing his utmost to stop that.
142.
Well, a real seesaw encounter. Can Jelle Klaasen finish with a fanfare? Not quite. Bain's turn.
122.
Can he stay alive with a huge, huge checkout?
Well, he needs it. Klaasen's coming back. He is going to get the first match dart.
68.
Will he take it? Not really a good guide. Is he blocking it? Needs all of the hockey.
10.
And now Jamie Bain can save himself again.
Well, it deserves the decider this match. Again, he's going to have to save himself. 51 left. Double 16 to stay alive.
56.
A bridge too far this time for Bain.
Jelle required 10.
Jelle looking for double 5. Chooses 3 double 1 for the match. Gets it.
And match.
What a game we've just witnessed. That was a real struggle at certain points, but we did have some brilliance as well, Chris. I enjoyed that. How about you?
Yeah, what a game. Jamie Bain defeated by Jelle Klaasen. It went one way then the other, but in the end, the number 9 seed safely through to the last 16 of the Happy Bet German Darts Grand Prix, and that brings to an end the afternoon session. This evening we will see the likes of Michael Van Gerwen and Peter Wright, both of whom have 4 European Tour titles apiece this year. Michael Smith, the only other winner, also in action. We'll hear from Jelle Klaasen and join us in a couple of hours.
It was a difficult one, but I mean, these are these matches which are really difficult to win, you know? I think always if you play the average of 106 and 107, then it's easy to win.
Yeah, it's difficult. My first game, he already played a game, he played well. So I was a little bit lucky in the beginning that he missed some doubles, but yeah, that happens to me as well sometimes. So I'm just happy with the win. Yeah.
How's your wrist doing? You had the surgery a couple of weeks ago?
It's good. I can practice now. Don't have any pain anymore, so it's a new beginning for me.
That was really the problem. You couldn't practice really, yeah?
Yeah, no, I can practice now, so it's a new start of the season, even though it's halfway finished. But no, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Great. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Jelle Klaasen. Das Handgelenk ist wieder in Ordnung. Er musste sich operieren lassen vor einigen Wochen. Die Schmerzen sind weg. Er kann wieder trainieren. Das ging eine Zeit